What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the channel. It is now the day after the old Chevy II had an incident. We had gone about 6 months without an incident.
Yeah.
No, it ain't been that long. When did I break the axle in the car?
4 months ago, maybe.
4, maybe 5. It's been a while. Anyway, so we went a little while without an incident. Now we had an incident. If y'all watched the last video, you got to see a little bit of it. A little bit of us, well, I guess there's a video where we went and got the car, and I talked about that a little bit, and then obviously the video of us tearing the car apart, and you got to see a little bit of what did break. We originally thought it was the crankshaft, and it turned out to be the balancer, but there's more tore up than that. Dad's been working on the motor a little bit, pulled the oil pan off of it, and timing cover, and I'm gonna turn this around and show y'all what's going on. We're gonna have to go a little deeper than we thought. I'm still gonna check the crank. I'll show y'all how we do that and see how much runouts on the snout where it's been, where it's been repaired before, and if this messed it up even worse. We're hoping, maybe the crankshaft's the worst of it. I'm gonna turn this around, kind of show y'all what we got going on, because it's more than just a balancer. So here you go. There it is, cracked open. Dad pulled the valve covers and backed the rocker arms off, so because we're gonna pull the timing chain and then be able to turn the crank to check it. I'm gonna we'll flip the motor over, but I'll mount a dial indicator here on an arm and zero it on the end of the crank snout, and then spin the crank and see how much run out there is. But if y'all can't tell, that timing chain's a little broke. It actually broke the link in there.
Double row timing chain.
Yep, nice timing chain too. And then if you can see, it's got a little bit of an angle thing going on. So we're not sure, but that's the balancer right there. That's how it broke. Still, well, we don't know what caused it, but it's definitely broken. And there's a bunch of junk in the oil pan. And then Dad found those two pieces on top of the driver's side head when he pulled the valve cover. So we know metal went pretty far, so we're gonna have to look at bearings and everything else, see how bad it is. We're gonna pull the intake manifold off of it.
I have to look inside the oil pump too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The pickup on the oil pump's got a bunch of crap in it. I don't know if y'all can see it, but there's RTV in there. So we just gonna kind of keep plugging along. Dad's pulling the plugs out of it. I'll get this intake manifold off and show y'all what we got going on there. See if there's any trash laying in the valley. Talk to me. Plug. You gotta say something. Those plugs?
Those plugs.
Okay. What's the plan, Dad?
Pull the plugs out. Pull the mains and the rods and pull the crank and the oil pump. And look inside the oil pump. But we want to do that run out test on that crank before we pull it out.
That's right. Well, the guys, it might not be as bad. When he first found that metal up there, we kind of figured it. We probably gonna put a whole set of bearings in it, depending on how bad it was. Had to polish stuff, but we don't have any metal in the valley that we can see. Just upon quick inspection. But hopefully not too much metal went through the motor. I'll show y'all. We did a little bit of block work on this. Dad, what you call it? Chamfered.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, cleaned up the block, got the hard edges off, and then I did a bunch of oil importing down in here to get it to drain, and we put some vents in, drilled and tapped it. And these are brass airline fittings. I was gonna buy pipe nipples and cut them in half, but they were a lot more expensive than these were. When you buy them. We built this motor years ago, probably what, 2, maybe 3? 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And built it on a pretty tight budget, or rebuilt it. It had already been built, but it was hurt, and we had to rebuild it. But
look how clean that is right there in that one spot.
Yeah. The actual run, dude, look down in the runner. It ain't that bad, but I ported these heads. Not a professional, but think they turned out pretty good. Oh, there's some crap in that one. It could have come when we pulled the intake though off of that gasket. See it down in there?
Yeah. It's not sharp, whatever it is.
It's probably gasket material.
It's gasket material.
But look down in that one, man. It don't look too bad.
No, I'm just wondering why it's clean right there.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep taking stuff apart and get back with y'all. Well, we got the motor flipped over. Got a dial indicator set up, and that's actually the high spot. So I guess we'll
It's out by what, 9,000?
yeah, about 9-ish thousandths. It says 10 on there, but it'll vary as we turn it. But when we had it earlier, it was about 9.5, so about 10 thousandths, which is bad. So I'm gonna let Dad turn it, show y'all exactly what we're talking about. Y'all can get an idea of it. But we're thinking it's gonna need crank, obviously a set of bearings, and then, you know, from there, timing set and all that. But go ahead, man, you're good. All right, so it ain't quite going back to zero, but y'all can see where it's kind of riding at, about 2.5 thousandths. And then we'll come back around here and it'll come back up. So just a hair past it. Y'all can see. So it's probably about what, about 7 thousandths out total.
7 or 8, yeah.
This ain't the most perfect setup, you know. It bounces and moves, but we figure about 7-8 thousandths. So that's kind of where we're at. The timing chain actually split the link where it come apart. And then other than that, I mean, it, you know, it's gonna have to be rebuilt. So that's where we're at with the motor. Not exactly great news. Still haven't figured out what we're gonna do yet, but I just figured I'd share that with y'all. And y'all check out the video, leave a thumbs up, throw us a comment, see what you think about it. That's a Eagle cast crank. It's a stroker crank. Cast steel crank, not cast iron. And it has been repaired before, and that's, I guess, where that comes from. And most likely that's what caused the balancer to split. Yeah, and the keyway's bent. But, you know, lesson learned. Next time, put a crankshaft in it first. So, anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all have a good one.